Hey guys, how's it going? Today, literally today, I picked up two new guns, Gen 5 Glock 19, which is relatively new, and the M&P M2.0 9mm Compact. This one, brand new. This one been out for a little bit. Two guns that have got a lot of inquiries, a lot of requests, a lot of interest. People asking me how I feel about them. People asking me a lot about the Gen 5. Do they fit my holsters? If I remember, I'll answer that at the end. Short answer, yes, they fit all my existing holsters and they will for sure fit all my future holsters. I'm not going to get into that right now. I'm going to get into the guns because that's why you clicked this video. So, tiny bit of back story. That's what I'm looking for. So, a few weeks ago, I did a video comparing a bunch of the most popular 9mm pistols. I'll link to that up here. I forget which side, in a card. And in that video, I compared, Glocks, whatever, P10C. I talked about the M&P M2.0 full size, 4.25 inches. This surprised me how much I love the M2.0. In the video or in the comments, I forget, maybe both, I talked about, man, if this gun came out in a Glock 19 size, it would be a serious contender to be my carry piece. I was still going to carry my Glock 19 because of the sheer sizes. I think it's like the perfect size. This gun a little big. A couple weeks later, coincidence? Yes, obviously coincidence. I had nothing to do with the M2.0 Compact, but coincidentally, a couple weeks later, they announced that they were releasing this gun, and it's out. So, I felt like I had to get it. And I had to talk about it. So I figured it would be a good time also to pick up the Gen 5 because I've been meaning to get one of them and just compare them real quick. So what this video is going to be is a relatively detailed comparison of these two guns since I literally just got them a couple hours ago. I haven't shot them. So if you're looking for shooting and actual like my personal reliability testing of this gun, that's not this video. So let's just get that out of the way up front. And I kind of feel like reliability testing of a gun with a sample size of one gun isn't that great doesn't really show much considering it's just one gun. But anyways, no shooting in this video. I will obviously shoot these guns in the future. I'll probably do a future video of shooting these guns. But for now, it's just going to be like initial impressions kind of, as well as some actual weights, lengths, sizes, real world use, grip, feel, trigger, that kind of stuff. Comparing these guns, probably not going to necessarily pick one for you or pick a winner, but I'm just going to show you the features and compare them. So, yeah. Gen 5, I'm not going to get into this gun and how it has changed from the Gen 4, though if you're wondering my thoughts on that, let me know in the comments below if you want me to do a dedicated Gen 5 video. I've seen a lot of them out there. I disagree with some of them. Some people are like, "Oh, this is stupid to upgrade." Well, I think some upgrades were pretty good. So I overall like the changes that they did to the Gen 5. Nothing revolutionary. And yeah, like I said, if you're curious, I'll get into a separate video. But really, this is just going to be comparing the Gen 5 to the M&P. No other guns, no other generations. That's it. So let's get into it. Glock 19. Gen 5, this holds 15 rounds and is a relatively compact pistol, really the most compact pistol for 15 rounds. M&P Compact also holds 15 rounds, comes very close to it in size, maybe the closest in size to the Glock 19 of any other 15 rounder out there. So let's just show some size stuff real quick. Hey bud, you gonna help me measure the guns? All right. So I'm using this method again, where I put them on the table to basically get the right measurement of the height of the grip. So here we can see the Glock is in the front and the M&P is in the back. They are very close to the same height. I would say they're pretty much dead even on height. So then we lined up the back, and the M&P is longer, for sure. Without question, the M&P is longer, though really not much longer. So about the same height, but M&P just a tiny little bit longer. So here you can kind of see how they stack up in a lot of dimensions. And because a lot of people are curious if the M&P Compact is even smaller than the M&P full size, here we go. So we got the full size in the back, definitely shorter in grip height and not much shorter in length. You can see the Glock 19 is about as much shorter versus the Compact versus the full size. All right, and mags, just because they're about the same size too. This is a 15 rounder versus a 15 rounder. Glock in the front. Also the Glock Gen 5s do have orange followers. Nice Glock mags, easier to load for sure than the M&P mags. Nice. All these guns have been cleared beforehand. So this camera is also on a tripod. Guns pointed in a safe direction. Let's compare the slide width. These aren't going to be exact. Roughly 25.62 millimeters. 25.62 versus the widest part of the slide on the M&P is 28 even, roughly. So a couple millimeters difference between the fattest part of the M&P slide, though most of the M&P slide is actually much thinner in this portion and then it gets fat again up here. Let's check out frame width now. Frame width on the Glock is about 29.4. Frame width on the M&P is about exactly 29.4. So frame width, the plastic part of these guns, is almost the same. Sorry I'm pointing the guns at the camera, but again, like I said, they're clear, safe direction, tripod, good to go. All right, so grip width, fatter, kind of average fatness part of the grip is 30.3 for the Glock, 30.4 millimeters for the M&P. So we'll say that the width of these guns, very close, pretty much the same. All right, and let's compare weight. This is a Glock 19, no bullets in it, but with an empty mag. 1 pound, 8.1 ounces. Same deal with the M&P Compact, mag in it, no bullets. 1 pound, 10.8 ounces. So M&P is heavier, and the M&P is longer, and the M&P is about the same height, grip-wise. Maybe actually a tiny bit shorter. Okay, I just wanted to do that because there's a lot of people saying, oh yeah, M&P Compact, who cares? The Glock is still way smaller and way lighter. It is a little smaller, it's a little lighter. I definitely would not use the term weigh because this comes very close in overall dimensions to the Glock 19. So some features of these two guns that you care about, probably slide stop on the Gen 5 is on both sides. So we have an ambidextrous slide lock, same on the M&P. Both of these are very low profile. I would say the M&P is a little bit more low profile and a little bit harder to release, but the texture on the M&P slide stop is better. It's a little grippier. The Glock is a little bit smoother and a little bit slicker, but easier to release, so kind of a wash. Maybe I'd actually give it to the Glock just because it's easier to release. Magazine release. Gonna be on one side only on both guns. You can flip them to the other side on both guns. Gen 5 Glock and Gen 4, mag release, very easy to manipulate. I would say it's great. M&P also, Gen 1 and M2.0, very easy to manipulate, placed really well. So mag releases, controls, those kinds, pretty much the same. All right, let's talk triggers real quick. So trigger on the Glock is gonna have some take up, some take up, some take up, and a break. Not a super crisp break. Reset. It's going to be tactile and audible. Nice reset. And then decent break. A lot of people say the Glock Gen 5 trigger is much improved. Maybe a little bit, maybe a little tiny bit improved. It's nothing revolutionary. This Glock trigger feels just like a Glock trigger. Doesn't feel like a 1911 trigger, doesn't feel like a P10C trigger, doesn't feel like a PPQ trigger. Still, I would say on the worst end of triggers, but it works. Works for me. I carry a Glock. I love Glocks. I don't think I mentioned before, I love Glocks. I'm a Glock guy. I have tricked out 17s, 26s. My carry is a 19. I love Glocks. So if I'm ever bashing on Glocks, it's not because I hate Glocks. Obviously, it's just because they're not best in a lot of areas. All right, now M&P trigger comes to a nice wall here, not very mushy, and then has a nice crisp break. Reset is, it could be shorter, but it's about the same as a Glock. Not as loud, not as tactile. And then a nice break. The funny thing, I said I didn't want to compare this to other guns. The full-size M2.0, to me, the reset is a little nicer. It's a little louder. You can feel it a little more than the compact. Again, I have a sample size of 1. So I don't know if it's just mine or if the full-size M2.0 has just a slightly better trigger than the compact, or reset at least, but something to note for the one I have specifically. So trigger, I would say the M&P is better in the trigger department, but Glock trigger is okay. One thing to note, again, I said I wasn't going to compare it to like previous generations and stuff, but the Gen 5 19 trigger is smooth. It's not stepped like the Gen 4 trigger was, had these ridges. Glock trigger still has this little middle, people love when I say the term dingus. The little dingus doesn't rest flat. I'm talking about this little trigger safety guy, doesn't go flat when it's depressed. It still sticks out in the middle. It's a little higher. That's annoying. I don't like it, but I don't love the M&P's crazy rounded weird trigger either. So I don't really love either of the trigger faces, but they're okay. All right, let's talk about the overall grip and feel of the gun. Gen 5, obviously, finger grooves removed. The texture on the Gen 4s is really good, not too aggressive to where it hurts your hand, and pretty grippy. The texture on the M2.0s is incredible. It's like a really nicely stippled texture. The grip on this feels great. So with grip, we also have grip angle. Most people will say the grip angle of the Smith Wesson is going to be better than the Glock. Though, if you carry a gun and you're training with a gun and you're training with a specific platform, that will become second nature. And yeah, maybe the M&P points more naturally, but if you train with the Glock, then it will feel natural when you point it. So grip angle, I don't know. I would say probably we'd give the win to the M&P. Now, bore axis, how high you can get on here. The M2.0 has no more beaver tail. I don't really care for beaver tails. You can get up here pretty high. Glock, you can get up here a little bit higher. So as far as how high you're gonna get on the gun, which directly translates to how much flip that recoil impulse is gonna have, the winner is gonna be the Glock in that department, but the M&P is gonna shoot really, really well as well. So grip, overall grip. Also, neither of them have finger grooves, and they're about the same size. So I have medium-ish size hands. My palm's gonna swell over the grip and the magazine. My pinky's gonna fall down into the mag area. I wear like a mechanic's size large glove, so I don't have huge hands. Probably an average-ish to large-ish, but probably pretty much medium-sized man hands. And this is how it fits me. Glock 19, same deal. My palm's gonna be falling off the bottom. My pinky's gonna be down into this mag here. and that's going to be my grip on both of these guns. Both of them feel good. I'm not going to complain that the grip size is too small on either of these guns. So overall, I'd probably give the grip just slightly to the M&P because of the texture mostly. And Glocks kind of have this little hump right here that's just kind of, nobody really likes it. Everyone thinks it's not very ergonomic. So while Glocks fit my hands pretty well, a lot of it probably has to do with me just shooting Glocks all the time. But grip, I would give edged out slightly to the M&P. Worth noting that Glocks do come with a bunch of different back straps, beaver tails that you can toss on there to change the size, and M&Ps also do. M&Ps come with 4 total, 3 extra different size back straps, so you can kind of dial in the grip size to your liking. In this video, it's the default or stock configuration for both of these. All right, so let's go down to the bottom of the grip, which is really the Magwell here. This is where the Gen 5 has, I don't know, arguably an improvement because we now have this flare here. So this flares out to theoretically aid in the reloading of a magazine. What I don't like that they did is this front part, and this is supposed to aid in your stripping of your mags, but a lot of people are saying they're getting pinched here. A lot of people are saying they don't like their pinky falling here. For smaller hands, your pinky may kind of fall like right into this little crack. I would say overall this thing is a fail. I don't want it. The flared Magwell, while nice, and I do like certain aspects of it, it does, to note, make the gun stick out just a little bit more here. That means when you're carrying, this is the part of your gun that's going to print or show or protrude through your clothes the most, and the flared Magwell does add just a little bit, couple millimeters of size there. So that's something to note. While it does make reloads a little bit easier with that flare, it has some downfalls. So it kind of gets you closer to something like this. This is a Magpool Magwell. It just basically helps to funnel the mag in. Now it doesn't do a great job because it still doesn't have a grip plug, and this part, this front part, is where your mag is going to want to go in here and hit. So it's kind of self-defeating. You have this flare which helps for the left and the right, but then you have this cutout which makes reloading weird in the front. So I'd say overall I do like the flared Magwell. I like how it looks, I like how it feels. A lot of people say they don't like how it feels with the Glock 19. I kind of like it. It kind of like pulls makes sure my grip doesn't kind of like fall off the end here. So I don't know, it's Magwell, it's a wash. The bottom of the mag, I don't know, it still has this hole and that still gets kind of caught up. I don't know, I don't love it, I don't hate it. The M&P does not have a flared Magwell at all and doesn't have this cutout, and it does have a little, this is really what you use to change the back straps, but essentially it's kind of a butt plug. Sorry, I don't know, is that what it's actually called, a butt plug? I don't know. So the thing that's weird though is that the full size, this is angled and kind of helps feed the magazine in. That does mean there's like this little gap here when the magazine is in, but I far prefer this angle on the full size than the straightness of the compact. It looks nicer when the mag's in, but I would rather it be angled to help kind of feed the magazine in here. So no flared Magwell, but that does keep it trim and small. The M&P Compact does have these little indents here. I don't know how easy they are to see on video. This aids in stripping, like a Type 3 malfunction where you need to strip the mag, and if it's stuck, these little indents will help you get to that. That is the purpose of this indent on the Glock, though I do far prefer M&P's handling of it. I would way rather have these indents than this cutout on the front. But again, with the flared Magwell, that's not really as easy on the Glock. So bottom of the mags, even though it's kind of funny, Glock has improved, quote unquote, their mag flare, the magazine well flares. I would kind of give the bottom of the grip advantage to the M&P. Slides, the M&P technically does have forward cocking serrations, though they're so small and in such a weird area that I would almost not even consider them front serrations, but technically they have them. The Glock current Gen 5 version does not, so I don't know, it's kind of a wash. The rear serrations are plenty grippy, the M&P ones are plenty grippy. I'm not really going to give a win to like slide manipulation one over the other. The M&P does have kind of a chamfered beveled front edge. The Gen 5 Glocks do as well, even though the frame doesn't, but maybe I'll talk about that in the Glock 5 video. All right, then we come to sights, which is Glock's weakest point, really. They're stock sights. Gen 5, by default, I think you can get some different night sight editions and stuff. But by default, they're still gonna get this plastic U-notch sights. Plastic sights suck, everyone knows it. If this is just gonna be a range gun or whatever, it's fine. The Gen 5 is a little bit wider back here, so it's more of kind of a combat accuracy sight to where there's gonna be more light between your front sight post when you're looking at it from the back. Smith Wesson will have metal sights, your standard 3-dot sights, nothing special, nothing amazing, though I would give the win in sights, stock sights to the M&P. We do have a more standard style rail on the M&P with multiple slots. The Glock is gonna just have its Glock, though the Gen 5 is a little bit wider here, maybe to accommodate more lights. But the good thing is it's a Glock. Every light manufacturer is gonna make a light that fits the Glock, period. Those lights will also most likely fit the M&P. Here we have, for example, the APLC on the Gen 5 Glock. Here it is going into one of my holsters. Beautiful. Funny thing is, we toss the APLC, if you really tighten the APLC down tight, it will work on the M&P as well. Here's what it looks like. And funny enough, the same Glock holster, it's a tighter fit, but funny, fits in mine anyway. So yeah, APLC small lights like that will work on the M&P 9C, and you see pretty much flush on the N2. Not gonna say this is the best light out there, but if you're curious about fitness, there you go. And then we should talk about some of the most important features of the gun, which aren't necessarily really like features that you can look at of the gun. One is aftermarket support. The M&P is gonna have a lot of aftermarket support. Second, a far second to the Glock. Glock is gonna have the most aftermarket support. M&P probably is gonna usually have the second most aftermarket support. Having said that, the Gen 5 has made a lot of changes, and it won't have as much aftermarket support as, say, the Gen 4 or the Gen 3. The M&P, this is a brand new length, so holsters will be new, and barrels will be new, but internals, I think, I might be misspeaking here. I think internals like trigger kits on the M2.0 full size, same thing on the M2.0 Compact. Glock Gen 5 internals, triggers, completely new. So aftermarket support still is gonna go to the Glock, but M&P is not bad. I mean, second probably overall in aftermarket support. And then we have reliability, which is a huge one, especially if you're thinking about carrying these guns. Glock, the Gen 5 is supposed to be even more reliable than previous generations, and Glocks were already stupid reliable. M&Ps, while I haven't had any problems so far with my M&P, mine is a sample size of 1, and I've only had about 500 rounds through it, which is pretty much nothing. So even though I haven't had a single malfunction in my 500 rounds, I've heard of a lot of people having issues with the M&Ps. M&P Gen 1s and the M2.0s. So before I would think about carrying this piece, I would send several thousand rounds down range and a variety of ammo to make sure I'm confident in my pistol. There's a such thing as lemons out there. So some people having really bad experience with M&Ps, they might be a lemon. There's lemons and Glocks. There's problems with everything that you got to get worked out. So any gun, even if it was a Glock, even if I got this Gen 5, I would want to send a few thousand rounds down range with various ammo before I started carrying it. So while reliability, I would say probably is a safe bet to go towards the Glock, any gun can be, not any gun, most guns can be made reliable, and you're going to want to shoot them, and you're going to kind of want to try to work those out, work any bugs out or whatever, if there are bugs, with your specific handgun, and really gain confidence with your specific gun, not necessarily your brand or your model, but your specific gun. Always a good idea to do that. All right, I think that covers it. And again, this isn't a comparison of the Glock versus Glock Gen 5 versus Glock Gen 4 or anything like that, or what about the other guns on the market. This is specifically Glock Gen 5 G19 versus Smith Wesson M&P M2.0 Compact tabletop brief quick overview, because I literally just got them. Stay tuned. Future videos, I'll be shooting these a lot. Maybe I'll be modding them. Maybe I'll be doing stuff to them. Oh, I also wanted to talk about it. I didn't talk about it. I forgot to. So these being the compact versions with larger brethren, they do accept their larger brethren 17 round mags. The M&P does come with these little grip extenders. So this is an M&P with a 17 round with a little grip extender thingy. It comes with 2 of these. This is what I'm talking about here. Goes onto the mag and makes your 17 round mag look like this instead of looking like this. I don't really care. I don't mind this feel. If I'm gonna pack an extra 17 round mag, I'm not personally gonna put that on it. But if you're into that, it's nice that M&P includes those. I don't think I mentioned it. M&P includes 2 mags. Glock includes 3 mags. So that's kind of a big deal. Glock's obviously same thing. Do I have a 17 round mag here? This is Glock 19. This is a 17 round mag in here. There probably are little extensions that I would never use, but I'm not sure if they'll work with the Gen 5 because you got this flare, so I'm not sure about magazine extensions for that. Obviously, Glock, you have a lot of options. This is a 21, I think, round Magpool Glock mag, so you get these smaller guns like a Glock 19, and you're gonna be able to use big mags for backups or at the range or whatever. Same deal with the M&P Compact. Obviously, the old M&P Compact, which is now the subcompact, same deal. Same deal with the Glock 26. Here's Glock 26 with a Glock 26 mag with the +1, but might as well toss a 21 or 33 round in your Glock 26 as well. So that's just something to note. If you're wondering, will the M&P Compact work with larger mags? Obviously to me, maybe not obvious to you, the answer is yes, it will work. So good way to carry is your compact gun with the 15 rounds with a 17 or greater round backup mag in a setup like this. Okay, I didn't want to go too deep, you know, the Glock Gen 5 made some changes to the barrel and some other stuff and whatever. I was really just talking about the stuff that you kind of really care about, There's a lot of reviews out there that get really in-depth into the really nitty-gritty, and if you're into that, go check them out. I watch those reviews too, but here on this channel, usually I talk about the things that you care about, not necessarily the mundane details. So that's it, guys. Glock Gen 5 versus M&P M2.0 Compact. Pretty much the same size. A lot of things to like about both guns. Made in America. I don't know, are they making any Glock Gen 5s in America? I'm not sure. But anyways, I think 2 solid guns. Again, reliability is the main thing that I'll find from shooting these guns. I haven't shot these guns, so I can't speak to reliability of these guns specifically. But, hope that helped. And if you want to see any specific things on either of these guns in the future, these guns compared to other guns, whatever, leave those comments below. I will do them. I'll be shooting them. These guns are naturally going to compete with the P10C, which I don't have right now because I sent my slide off to Jaegerworks. I'm getting some milling done and an RMR put on there. So excited about that. I'll show you my tricked out P10C down the road. I don't know. Do you guys like stock guns, or do you like seeing like tricked out guns? Do you want me to just like kind of show off some of my guns, like the tricked out ones? I think those are more clickbaity, but maybe people want to know. Let me know. Let me know. Whatever. Let me know. People will ask. People will ask. Glock Gen 5, making holsters for these already. They fit on my holsters. M&P M2.0 Compact. These are probably, they're going to fit into my Generation 1 full-size M&P holsters. I will be getting into CAD and designing some custom new holster molds and milling them and doing everything for the M&P soon. Haven't done that yet since I literally just got it. Look for that in the next couple of months. P10C, same thing. I'll be making some custom molds for that and releasing those. So just stay tuned to the channel for that kind of stuff. If you're curious about my holsters, feel free to email me anytime. My website for selling merch and stuff and holsters I worked on. I just built pretty much the entire thing. I had a few hours last weekend and just kind of here and there. I'm nearing completion, but it's like when I find a chunk of time, and I won't have a chunk of time this weekend because I'm going to be in Estes and looking at leaves and stuff and, you know, living life. So when I do launch my website and when there is stuff to purchase, I'll make a video about it. I'll let you guys know. Coming up, tons of stuff coming up. I have so many videos that I want to make and just don't have time. Trying to carve out the time, trying to make the videos. A lot of fun stuff happening in the future. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching. Sorry for the rambling. This was just kind of a random unplanned video, but I got them and I was like, these are two popular guns. These are two guns that people are asking me a lot of questions about. Why don't I just sit down and film a video real quick and talk about them? And I did, and there we go. And I'll upload this probably tonight, so maybe I'll be watching it this weekend. If you are, it's gonna be cold in Colorado. It's getting down to like, I think it might be getting down to freezing in Colorado, and it may even snow on Monday, which isn't that crazy because I heard it snowed in California yesterday. Anyway, so I'm gonna start wearing some like winter gear more. And I love gear, I love clothing, and I love apparel. And previously I've only really reviewed pants, but this year in the winter, maybe I'll review some other cold weather gear. You're probably gonna ask what I'm wearing. This is a sweatshirt by Tactical Distributors. They just released their fall line. I picked up a bunch of their fall line clothing. Awesome stuff. I'll link to this. I'll review some other stuff in the future. But I'll link to this too if you're curious. I probably shouldn't make videos when it's getting later at night because I start rambling more. I'm sorry. But thanks again for watching. You have a great day, night, weekend, week, life. All right.